Alrighty. Oh, let's fix this. There we go. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. I'm at the office, trying to prepare for Home and Garden Show in 3 weeks. 3 weeks is better than 2 weeks, I guess. So, and I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. I'm trying to learn Unreal. So let's go ahead and fire that up. And we need to find an Unreal VR tutorial. Unreal Steam VR tutorial, maybe? Sure. Let's update. While we're updating, let's look at. So I have a problem with this. This right here is the pixel size of a normal 4:3 resolution monitor, and for some reason, the programmers of this document website have decided that you are not allowed to view this at that resolution. I have to have it slightly larger in order for this to work. I wonder if, just to zoom it down to 98% and it works. Okay. Nope. I do not care to do that. Let's launch Unreal Engine. And the first thing I guess I need to do is to log in and make sure that VR is actually working. But apparently you have to know your password in order to do that. Got tons of stuff. Whoa. I looked up in the lighthouse. It's like I couldn't perceive that the lighthouse itself was moving, but the reflection in the lighthouse was moving. And I was like, the clouds are not moving that fast. I think it just scared me more than anything. So, I guess I should like turn everything else on so that I have a full setup. Because like I don't even have Restream on. That can't be right. Is that right? We have 5 people viewing? Who else viewing? Interesting. All right. So let's learn some VR, but yeah, again, I guess first I should make sure that this is still downloading. So I guess we can yeah, I've not done some issue download, install the Steam client, install the VR tools, adapt. Hey. Yeah, I forgot that I have to do all the first time setup stuff because I haven't run VR on this computer yet. Oh man. And that's simple enough. Come on, Steam, install. What are we downloading? Holy cow. It's a 7 gig update. Okay. Maybe I won't be doing this for a while. Maybe we'll just read through some of this real quick. That's it. Oh boy. I mess up the stream? No, it's still good. Okay. Hey, Air Force 1747. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Hopefully we can get some VR going here in just a minute. Set it in standby mode. Let's make sure that these got enough battery. We've got okay battery. One of these is not visible. There we go. Hey! Let's do setup for standing only. Headset is not visible. That's because it's sitting way over here. So we're gonna do our room setup real quick. Next, stand cleared space holding headset so it's facing default. Yep, calibrate center. Next, locate the floor. So the easiest way to do this is to set it on the floor and tell it that it's at 0. Oh, that's right. I gotta move it out here so it can be seen. There we go. Hey. All right. So let's do some VR maybe. Failed to launch Steam VR Home. Okay. Will anything work? Okay, find the lab. And we'll see if this works. Okay, it's still downloading. Let that launch as soon as it's ready. And I mean, I can see in VR. I mean, this looks like it's working. I wonder if I can get this. Launch home. Let's see. One eye only. There you go, that way you can see what I'm seeing. Hey, home works. My right hand apparently. Maybe we can do a quest real quick. All right. There's so many things. And everything is downloading, so I can't do anything right now. So that's fine. But it looks like, I mean, I think it's working. It's working fine. So we'll do this and close that and take this off. And let's get started on Unreal, shall we? All right, so let's go back. Let's go back to edit. You can see that that workstation's already lost. So create new blank, new project blank. Project hardware set to mobile tablet. Scalable 3D or 2D. No starter content. And we'll call this Learning Unreal. Create projects. And once the project loads, click on the small triangle next to play button, and then from the menu that is displayed, select the VR preview option. The VR preview launches, put on your HMD, and you should now be able to see the basic level being displayed and have the ability to rotate your head around in any direction when you put the HMD on, like the video below. So what I'm going to need to do, okay, yeah, I know what it looks like to put that on. What I eventually need to do is detect the chaperone system, interact with Steam VR, setting up. Okay, so let's do this. Play. Pause. I want to launch. VR preview. And it would appear as though that does work. The controllers do not show up yet, so that's the next step, is getting controllers to show up. So there's that. Okay, next step. Now that you can view a UE4 project using Steam VR and HTC Vive, try adding the following items to your project. Use the Migrate tool to move content from one of the mobile content examples into your project for use. I wonder... Migrating assets. Content browser contains Migrate tool. Content browser. Well, that requires having the project open you want to migrate from, I guess. So yeah, we got to figure that out, I guess. Let's. We might do that next. This is useful when you need to merge or fork projects when transitioning from a test environment to a production project. Okay, so you have to open the project in order to migrate the assets. I would think it'd be more useful to be in a project and migrate from another project. Because you immediately want to use it. You don't want to then have to close the project you're in and then open another project. I don't know. Call me crazy. Motion controllers. Motion controllers? First, inside the content browser, locate and set up your player pawn. I have no player pawn. Huh. So immediately we have a problem. There's no such thing as a pawn in my content browser. And I don't have a pawn in here. This is the problem that I seem to have with all of the documentation for these things, is that if I'm in this right here and I follow these instructions, I should have the same things that are in the image. Maybe you've set up your pawn to work with a VR headset. Okay, please check out the starting guide. Here we go. Developing for Steam VR. I mean, this looks like all the content that I need to go through in the next 3 weeks. So, okay, developing Steam VR content. Prerequisites, quick start, best practices, profiling, command references. Check out the Getting Started guide. Okay. Steam client, I did all that. This is the same thing that I've already read. So now I'm in the loop of check out the previous thing that you read, which doesn't tell you how to get to where you need to be at. I already did all that. So the link from here that tells you how to set up a pawn doesn't have anything on how to set up a pawn. VR cheat sheet maybe? Running a VR game, running from the UE4 editor, console, commands. Who knows? Developing for Google VR. Performance, motion controllers, stereo layers. Attaching items to the HMD. None of this contains anything on how to set up the actual pawn. Here we go. Okay, so I want to do a standing camera. Alright. But I'm going to be sitting, so who knows how this is going to work out. Below you find instructions setting up a pawn to work with a standing Steam VR experience. Create new pawn blueprint. First, open up or create a new pawn blueprint and go to the component section of the viewport tab. create, open up or create. What is this? Layer start, selection sphere, cloud direction, dome light, skylight, light source, on. So sensitive. Okay. From there, I don't know why. Filters. Reset filters. Oh, it's not showing anything. Why do I have no... Apparently I'm going to have to just go through the how to use Unreal tutorial first. Components, this is content browser. Where's the freaking... Oh, here we go, components. Okay, so here, this is the problem with using non-writers to write content. Okay, so the first thing you do from a blank scene is open or create a new pawn blueprint, and then go to component section in the viewport tab. Okay, so I created a new pawn blueprint. Okay, I don't know how to open one. And then, so I guess I have the floor, sky sphere. I mean, but it doesn't say select the pawn. It just says go to the component section of the viewport tab. Components. That's details. There is no component tab of the viewport, or there's no, I mean, have they outdated the open pawn.h? Go here. I'm on this. Team VR pawn. See, they have all this stuff that I feel like the instructions are meant to help us set this up, but they haven't done any of that. Oh my goodness. This is just silly. Okay, well I guess I'm gonna have to do the how to use Unreal tutorial because they obviously expect you to understand things that are not written. Okay, tools make multiple panels that can be moved around, docked, closed, etc. It's fine if you ever hide something you need. All panels are accessible from the window menu. Okay. Level Editor is the hub of the Unreal Editor. This is your world building tool. You create levels, place, modify actors, test your levels, etc. In the center of the screen is the main 3D viewport. The most common way to navigate the viewport is by clicking and holding right mouse button and using WASD to fly around. And by fly around, they literally mean fly around because it moves fast. These buttons select various tools to manipulate actors in their levels. You can move, rotate, and scale them. Also, these tools can be set up to snap at intervals and set to local space or world space. Camera speed. There we go. That's too slow. And I bet 3 is too fast. No, that's just right, actually. There we go. These buttons change the way the viewport renders. You can viewport, show, hide, actors, change which render buffer is shown. Nice. Real time. Show stats, show FPS. Toolbar. Nice. Game view, immersive mode. Ooh. Game view. Okay. Nice. Cinematic preview? I don't know what cinematic preview does. Are things still moving? I feel like things are still moving. Yes, they are. I wonder if it's like, it does like the color rendering and things like that. Right? The modes panel contains a selection of various tool modes for the editor. These change the primary behavior of the editor for specialized tasks such as placing new items in the world, creating geometry and volumes, painting on meshes, generating foliage, and sculpting landscapes. The content browser is the primary area for creating, importing, organizing, viewing, and modifying content assets within Unreal Editor. It also provides the ability to manage content folders, perform other useful operations, blah, blah, blah. The content browser can search for and interact. I just realized that I never actually set my Twitch information dashboard. So right now, it says the incorrect. Yep. Learning UE4 for VR walkthroughs of home designs. There we go. All right. Live streams. Let's make sure that I've got this going fine. Watch now. Alright, content browser. The content browser can search for interactive with all assets in the game project. That's fine. Details panel contains information needed specific to the current selection. It contains transforms. Contains transformated boxes for moving, rotating, scaling actors, displays all the information, and provides quick access to all the stuff about all the actors. World Outliner displays all the information within actors and let's turn off the FPS for now. You can also use common extra information. Toolbar provides quick access to commonly used tools and operations. Menu bar is similar to menu bar found in many computer and provides access to blah blah. The information about information. Interface elements have enhanced. Aha. There we go. Okay. Okay, so that was the interface tutorial. So sure, let's go through. I mean, I guess we have to go through these tutorials, right? Move the mouse cursor over the 3D viewport, hold the left mouse button, drag to turn left and right. The scene camera in place. Oh, I'm in the scene camera. Finally hold both the pan up and down, and left and right. Go. Okay, you can also use keyboard control, blah blah blah. Hold any mouse button. Okay, got that. It's the WS keys. This is the most useful. There we go. I mean, it does the same thing left and right mouse button, so I don't know why it's more useful one way than the other. You can open as many. I don't want. Let's just do that. Yep, did that. Lastly, let's cover focusing. To focus on a specific actor, place something. Let's click it in the 3D viewport to select it. Then press the F key. Okay, yeah, focus. There we go, got that basics content browser walkthrough. There we go. I mean, we might as well just go through all this. Clicking the new button brings up context menu. You can create new blueprints, materials, particle systems, and more. Clicking import imports it from something else. Clicking save all. Back button, step back to the folders you've been browsing. Forward steps it forward. Path chooser provides quick access to all in your game project. Yep, I'm just curious. Lock button keeps the content browser from navigating different locations when using the find and so got it. Open a new content browser. Well, that's interesting. The sources panel button toggles the sources view and collections area. So everything else in this tutorial highlights things, right? This is amazing. The sources panel button toggles the sources view and collections area, allowing those parts of the browser to be quickly collapsed for more screen real estate. Oh, sources panel. There we go. I mean, the button is there. Why not highlight it? And then as soon as I click it, it highlights it. So why not? Sorry, I'm harping on the user experience here. This comes up. I mean, why not highlight this right here? You can click this, but I mean, you're doing it already. Why not? I don't understand. So if I close this, okay, it does the same thing. And that makes more sense, but the button is still there. so I don't know. Source panel provides a list of all the folders collections within your game project. When there are many folders that extend beyond the bottom of the panel, that list may be scrolled. Users may also use the mouse wheel and may drag. Yeah. Okay. Filter selection. See, now I can close that. And that shows up, even though this isn't expanded, you know. Left click and left click static mesh. Static mesh. Content browser section shows active filters. You can left click any filters to disable it, but leave it showing in the filters area. Got it. Middle click will remove it. Okay. Context menu to search assets. Assets view. Okay, I don't have new assets can be created within the asset view by right clicking, choosing the desired information. Blueprints. Oh, okay. The view options button. Okay, so I did all that. Feature packs are a quick and easy way to insert new functionality and or assets to existing projects. First, find or open your content browser. Now click Add New. From the menu that appears, click on Add Feature or Content Pack. There you go. Present a dialog showing Feature Pack. Simply select the type of feature pack you require and select to add the project. If you add code in your project, you'll need to compile it again, but this can be done right away in the editor. When it's finished compiling, your new items will be ready for use. Good enough for me. Alright, I did all those things. Blueprints. Let's work with some actors. Alright, this tutorial will cover how to use in the in-world world blueprint editing features on Unreal 4. You have created a brazier complete with fire and light. This tutorial assumes a basic understanding of viewport controls, placing actors in a level and moving them around, which has not been covered in anything up to this point. We have not placed any actors or moved them around. So the tutorial assumes that you've gained knowledge by methods other than tutorial. Please see the following guides to familiarize yourself with these portions of the editor. Well, at least it gives you these things right here. Artist Quick Start Guide. Viewport controls. We did all that. Artist Quick Start Guide. We haven't seen this. Okay, this is what you'll see when you launch UE4. New project. Click the Blueprint tab. And select blank. We did that. So this one included starter content, so let's do this. Let's go to Content Packs, Starter Content, Add to Project. I knew how to do that. So let's go back to this guy right here, and let's split screen this sucker. Okay, we got that imported. Select location, create project. From now on, UE4 will do all that stuff. From content browser group, we navigate. You can also find content through the project folder located on the hard drive. Okay. Creating projects, browsing. So after 1, you should be comfortable creating projects and browsing through content in UE4. At this point, you should have created a new UE4 project. It's always good practice to keep your project content organized. The first thing you're going to learn is how to create a folder that will store your imported content. Before you get started, download quick assets from the following link. Okay. Extract the downloaded assets to a location on your computer. Extract all. From the content browser, click Add New. Select a new folder. To create a new folder in game. Content. Oh, I see. I see. New folder. Let's delete that. Yes. Content. Oh my goodness. Set filters. What have I done? Didn't realize I was new folder. There we go. And call it quick start content. It seems like I'm about to add the same stuff again, so I added a folder. A few ways to add content now that you're inside Quick Starter folder. Well, I'm not, but I can be by clicking on it. Go. Import. Open file dialog box. Select the basic asset 1, basic asset 2, and the place that I was just at. Download. Quick start. So select these two guys right here. Open inside the editor. Apparently this is an editor. The dialog appears. Clicking import all adds your meshes to your project. So I'm guessing that's what you want me to do. Okay. Click the save all button to save your imported meshes. Save level, okay. Navigating to the quick start folder content. Verify that UE4 created the corresponding UA asset files. Well, something else popped up, so I can't do that. Unreal projects, learning Unreal, content, quick start content. So I have the UA asset. Okay. So it did create it, but I have another dialog now that has popped up. That we'll just call this tutorial level. So I guess it just wants to save the level that I have here. Select the meshes to be exported. Wait, what? Oh, this is for exporting stuff. So let's look and see. So apparently Unreal likes FBX files, but I doubt that the FBX files comes with materials on it. Okay. Here we go. Hey, I've learned how to do stuff. So I'm really confused now. I did all this stuff. I got the mesh preparation. So that was just one. Go back. Nope, not what I meant to do. So which one am I missing here? It won't show me the check marks. It was this one, importing textures. So we did importing meshes. Preparing meshes, it skips 1.3. Can I do this? What happens if I just make it 3? Importing textures. Okay, navigating to the quick start content folder. Import. I'm going to select the TGA files. Click open. Confirmation box. Okay. Click the save all. So it wants to save the contents. So if I hit save all, it's now going to put those material assets in there. Okay. And now there's not a next step. So I'll go back here. Now if I go to 2, everything should be checked, even though we can't see it. So creating a new rock material. Navigate your content in content browser, click add new, and select material. Material. Name your material rock. Your rock material is now ready to be used. Double click rock material will open the material editor. Read R if you want to learn more about working with material nodes. Size your textures using powers of 2. Yep, okay. I'm going to open that because we will eventually want to do that. So we should be on. Let's go back here and make sure there's not a 2 point something. Okay, editing materials. Editing your rock. Select the main material node. In the center of the material graph. Okay, this is our main node, apparently. It will highlight the node when you select it. Alright. Inside the details panel, change the shading. I feel like this, to be consistent, should be over here. And that this should be over here to be consistent. I don't know. Inside the details panel, maybe I can do this right here. So we're just a little bit. Change the shading model from default lit to subsurface. Okay. The subsurface shading model enables 2 more pins. Did we notice that? Default lit? Yes, we did. Lit. Okay, there's some good stuff here. Maybe turn on opacity and subsurface color. Now is the time you get your textures into the graph. Hold the T key and left click inside the editor's graph area. A texture sample node will appear. You want at least 2 textures. Select one of the texture samples and locate. Okay. Get the details panel under the material expression texture base category. Got it. Under the texture property, left click the pull down menu, label none, and select the color texture named T-Rock04D's Rock 04D. Okay. Repeat for the other one, except do rock or in. Rock in. Okay, so we have that, but nothing's connected yet. So connect T to the base color pin. Connect the color pin. The base color. So now we should have rock here, but we don't, for unknown reasons. Connect the simple normals pin. White. The normals. Okay. Nice. I can see this. Nice. Okay. Preview should look something similar to this, which it does. Effective show stats background. Good. Stats. Global stats. I want to, like, the background is turned off, but I'm still seeing a background. I don't understand that. Alright, hold the 1 key, left click to create 3 constant nodes. Okay. Hold the 3 key, create 1 constant 3 vector. Nodes should be arranged so the connections can easily be made. Makes sense? Kind of like that. Well, I kind of wish that this would all kind of line up, but it doesn't. Interesting. Connect the constant and constant vectors corresponding rock material main node. So I want specular roughness opacity. Okay. Specular roughness opacity. And then the 3 vector goes to subsurface color. Subsurface color. Weird. Change each 2 corresponding values. It should be specular is 0. Roughness is 0.8. interesting. So if I do 1, oh, if I do 50, looks to be the same as 1. Opacity, 0.95. It was already 0. I don't see how that doesn't seem to be making a difference at all. Subsurface color. One. Okay. You just use the material editor to edit your rock material. All right. Applying materials to the static mesh editor. So I guess I can close that now, right? Would you like to apply the changes to the original material? Yes. There we go. Double click the asset you imported earlier in this guide. Okay. Default material will be used whenever an actor is placed in the level. Maybe we should go through this real quick. Welcome to the static mesh editor. I feel like I've already done this. There we go. Details being edited, common task, assign materials to the static mesh. Each LOD can have different materials. Each element represents submesh of the static mesh and requires a material. Regardless of the size setting, it will have a default value of 32 for its light map resolution. This is the size of each side of the 2D texture that will be created for the light map, which is not big enough for houses, we found. Depending on the usage of the static mesh, it is advisable to adjust this value to meet your quality and performance goals. You can always override the static mesh after. In a specific instance, static mesh needs more or less light map resolution. So we'll get that going. Okay, to view your UV channels, click on the UV button on the toolbar. There we go. Okay. You can change the UV channel you are viewing with the UV channel selector. Excellent. By default, Unreal Engine will use UVs found in UV channel 1 for baking light maps. If UV channel 1 does not exist, it will revert to UV channel 0. So light maps are on UV 1. Good to know. Static Mesh Editor includes tools for creating collisions for your static meshes. The hashtag DOP are the K-DOP simple collision generators. K-DOP is a type of bounding volume that basically takes K-axis aligned planes and pushes them as close to the mesh as possible, where K is the number of planes. For example, the 6-DOP uses 6 planes and the 18-DOP uses 18 planes. I will need more information on that eventually. Let's come back to this. To view the collisions, use the Show Collision button on the toolbar. Simple collisions. Complex collisions. Okay, got it. The Auto-Convex Collision option will open the Convex Decomposition tab, and this will generate number of holes defined by max holes value generated. This will generate collision more closely resembling the surface of the static mesh. You can also define collision in your 3D art creation tool. See FBX static mesh pipeline documentation. Sure. Commonly in games, you will want to attach an object to a mesh actor. You can do this using sockets. Sockets give programmers a dynamic point for attaching objects together. We don't really need to do that yet. I will need to do it when I set up my controllers. It might be a weapon pickup, placing a key into a keyhole, etc. Select Create Socket. In the Socket Manager panel, to add a socket to your mesh. Window, socket manager. There it is. Okay, create socket. I created a socket. Once it's created, you can move, rotate, and scale the socket using the static mesh. There it is, right there. Do this. Okay. So I think that was one of the editor things that I had. Basic asset. There we go. So we're back to this now. How to set static mesh actors default material. Default material will be used whenever an actor is placed in the level inside the content browser. Double click the asset. Do I have a content browser right now? I don't really think. Here we go. Okay, I did that. Inside the details panel under LOD0. Here it is. Click the materials drop down. Okay, I'm clicking it, but I can't do anything. Is it because of the... I can do this under material slots and add Rockle, but I cannot LOD settings. Okay, so I don't have any number of LODs, so if I change this to like 3, I still can't change the different Unreal can't edit LOD0 material. Wonder why that is. So this is actually exactly not what I wanted to edit, but imported static mesh, created 3 LODs using the auto LOD. When I tried to change the material, the LEDs however is grayed out so far. I tried importing my own LEDs. Okay, so 1 material slot. 2 material slots. I still can't change the LED. You have a different material for LOD1. Click the plus sign. This will create a second material slot. Set your LED material there and give it a name. So let's say that this is fine, basic floor. I still... Aha! LED settings. Light changes. LOD0. LOD1. LOD2. Auto LOD. Got it. Okay, so let's reduce this back to 1. Light changes. And this will be that right there. Let's remove this material. Okay. So this tutorial is wrong. And I think it's because this is different. This material slots is different. So inside the details under panel Down menu, select the rock material. Your preview pane will update to show the new material, which it did. Clicking the save button first closes the material editor. Save. 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 It did not close the material editor. I already did this. But okay, I'll throw another one in there. Changing the material used by an actor. I actually want to. What happens if can I drop the? Yeah, there we go. Let's do this. What happens if I do this? Oh, it created a new material. That's cool. So what if I do this and texture sample? Oh, and even so, it knew that there was a normal file, so it did that. That's kind of neat. All right. Select your static mesh actor. Inside the details, locate the materials selection and click the materials drop down. Static mesh. Materials drop down. Inside, select a different material. Tutorial. Am I? Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So that overrides that instance. Next step. This should be 5. On your own, using what you know, create a new material similar to this graph. Alright, so here we go. Add new material. Similar to this graph. Alright, we're going to edit that. And let's see. They called it plastic. I guess I could call it plastic, huh? I'll rename it later. So we have a 3, and there we go. So this is going to be 0.461, 0.539, 0.55. Okay. This is going to be 0. This is going to be 1. And this is going to be 0.1. Okay, and let's see, we're gonna go base color, probably, okay, metallic, specular, and roughness. Excellent. The main material mode. Settings, simulate a plastic material, add basic asset 1 to the level, apply a material to it, and update the material to apply a brick normal map texture. Yeah, it is. It's very wide. But it wouldn't be a problem if you had an ultra-wide monitor also. So I haven't really found a way with OBS to broadcast it at a different resolution that really works. But if you have any suggestions, I am open to learn. So let's see. I did that. We can save that. And we're going to add basic asset 1 to the level. Okay. Apply the material to it. Which is this guy right here. Let's rename. We'll rename it to plastic since that's what it says. Apply that material to it. There we go. And then update the material to have the normal is normal? Normal's down here. Rock. Go for in. Normal. And save. Yeah, so I know there's a way to broadcast like only a certain, like I can keep my screen resolution but only broadcast or stream output a certain ratio. So I've thought about looking into that. That's kind of cool. Okay, so I've finished the materials artist quick start, which produced one of these but not the other. Got that. Okay, so let's move on to then the tutorial. That where were we? We were looking at blueprints. We did the artist quick start guide. Okay, working with actors, with components on actors. It's a way to build actors directly in a level about adding components to them. Think of it like an actor is the frame of a car and components are the wheels, engine, transmission, seats that are carried by the frame. I can see where they're going with that analogy, but it would be really easy to confuse somebody because those things that they just described are things that would be like non-static, I think. What's up, John? Well, I'm glad it's readable. So, it's definitely the case. Hey, John, guess what I'm doing? All right, let's make something. So I'm going to delete the stuff that I just did. I'm going to delete that pawn that I made earlier. Place an empty actor into the level. Let's find the empty actor. It can be found in the modes panel, placement, basic, right at the very top, basic. Hey, look at that. It's the thing that I was looking for at the very beginning when I went down this chain of tutorials. What is the subframe, and does this mean the Department of Transportation is regulating Unreal Engine? Sure. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, John, I'm going through Unreal tutorial. I started out trying the VR tutorial, and the VR tutorial said you have to go back to this tutorial so that you know what we're talking about. Actually, it didn't say that, but I had to go back to it anyway because it was talking about all the stuff that I didn't know anything about. So I am learning Unreal because I have at least 2 VR models that I have to pump out in 3 weeks for a home and garden show. Not only do I have to pump those out, but I have to do them outside of billable hours. Now all you have to do is place an empty actor in the level by clicking and dragging it. Click and drag an empty actor. How do I know which one is empty actor? Is it just any of these is an empty actor? Is that the way this works? Let's use pawn. What does this one look like? I feel like I'm missing something. Pawn character, framework pawn, point light, Unreal architecture, actors. Okay, maybe. I don't know. let's see. If I do actor, it's called an actor. If I do pawn, it's called pawn. Okay, so there we go, actor. Select the empty actor by left-clicking it in the viewport. Did that. Now let's turn our empty actor into a brazier, which is a type of fire pit. Sure, let's do it. In the Details tab is the Components panel, and it's here that we can start to add various parts that will make up our new actor. Let's maximize this. Number of ways to add the components we'll need to turn this empty actor into a brazier. We'll need to go through the most common methods. Making the base. We're going to use the cone. To add component, you can find cone mesh in the add component menu. Scroll down to cone. Static mesh. Cone static mesh. Call it base. Let's scale the base. Select it. Select it. I don't know why I always get confused between Q and E, which one is up and down. Squish it. Scale. There we go. Squish it. Move it up so it rests on the ground like this. Scale the base component to 0.25 along the z-axis. Okay. Then, using the translate tool, move it up so that it sits on the ground, which it doesn't look like it wants to sit directly on the ground. Oh, that's interesting. Can I turn off snapping? There we go. It's kind of a weird number to have it sit on the floor. There we go. So you can't, this is not a scalable thing here. Roll value, pitch value, yaw value, and neither are the scales. So you can't, you can do rotation like this, but you can't do, you have to use this. Okay. Add the top. Let's create the top using another cone. Add a second cone just like the one you added. Name it top. Okay. Add a cone. Top. Click and drag another cone from the what? Click and drag another cone from the modes panel to the components list of your actor, but hold on a second, you just told me to make a second cone like you added the first one, which is not doing what you just told me to down here. I'm really confused. Delete that one. Cone. Top. No, I want to call it top. I can't rename it. I can't rename it. Top. Okay. You can't name it top. Top cone. Can't name something top, but the tutorial tells you to call it top. I don't understand that. Then using transform tools, get it looking like this. Select top and rotate it 180 degrees on the x-axis. Okay. Scale it to 2.5 and move it along the z by 0.25. Like 25. Sorry, like this. Yeah. So we're actually going to be probably buying some Google Cardboard boxes, and we're going to have one Steam VR setup, and then we're also going to have like 2 or 3 Google Cardboard setup so that people can view it on their phone, which will be pretty cool. Move along to Z by 25. Okay, and then add the light and transform it. Using the add component button, let's add a point light. Point light. Did I add a point light? No, I did not. Point light. We're gonna call it Fire Fuego light. Move it up above the surface of the cone. I don't know. Yes. Yes, right there. Oh, it says 110. There we go. We've only been adjusting transforms, but you can change any of the properties that a component has. In this case, we want to change light to something more akin to fire. Select Firelight and Components to list your actors, then Details panel. Under the Light category, change the light color property to a fiery orange. Fiery orange. Okay. So that's kind of subjective, but you know, we'll get it. Can do this. Color pick. Orange fire. Images. Yeah, there we go. Let's so this color will be 251, 241, 4. Okay. So we'll make it just a little bit more orange. Next. We need one more thing, fire, and there happens to be a particle system in the engine content folder. If you'd like to know how to enable or disable the display of engine content folder, click here. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. Someone was doing donuts outside. And I decided while stepping away, might as well warm up some soggy fries and chicken. So we'll see how that turns out. Alright, click and drag. On it. Hey! We'll call this Fuego. Transform, reposition it like all the other components. Okay. So let's location. Let's scale this sucker. Can we? Yes, that's a can't scale it, I guess. Still burning rubber outside. So I wish, and maybe just maybe, I want this. I feel like every time I move it up, it keeps putting fire below the point that it's previewing at. Go. Okay, did that. Select the basic control left clicking. I bet I can do this too. There we go. In the materials section of the details panel, change the material to basic asset 2. Display 2 materials. Basic asset 2. There's got to be a way to do that all at once. Okay, so I have the starter pack, so let's look and see what materials. So your starter content materials, and they're basically just saying throw some metal on there. So let's see, what if we drop some holy rusted metal on here, Batman? Oh, I have them both selected, so it's going to do both of them. Okay, that's nice to know. What about some moss? Let's put some ground moss on there. I did that. Convert your actor to a blueprint class. Okay, this is good information. Now at this point, you could just copy this actor around, but the best way to do is convert it to a blueprint class. In short, blueprints is the visual scripting language in Unreal 4. Let's make this dip instead of squeeze. The best way to convert the actor of soggy reheated food into the blueprint class of edible food is by adding the ketchup component. And maybe a salt component too. I think we might need a salt component. For our immediate purposes, the value. Be right back. Just kidding. Thought somebody came in. All you need to do is select a blueprint and okay. Here's a folder for your new brazier. Name it brazier. Oh, what happened? I have a blueprint. Oh, it opened it for editing. And now I have another tutorial that I need to go through. We'll go through that in just a second. Favorite towel. Right back. Alright, so we've grabbed the paper towel actor as well as the salt and pepper actor. We're going to add them as components. There we go. Interesting. So you cannot. There we go. Good. Go. Oh, okay. All right, let's go through this now. So I'm going to leave probably around 3 o'clock. So I think around 2 o'clock, I'm going to stop tutorials and start just getting models in the Unreal, seeing what I can make happen with that. And I'm going to mute the microphone while I eat because I know that that's pretty disgusting. So enjoy some music while I do that.
So I thought I needed. So I thought I needed. Thought I needed. So I thought I needed.
missing someone. Love with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart. How much you miss her. And you deserve.
Alright, almost done eating, and then I can talk some more. I seem to have gotten rid of my fork, which I need to finish eating. So, be back in just a second.
is a dime for the phone. I don't think she realizes.
All right. So I'm done disgustingly eating my lunch. So I'm going to unmute the mic and turn the camera back on. And I'm going to be running back and forth because they're literally hanging the sign outside right now. What's up, Amanda? Appreciate you coming by on a weekend. I'm going to go check on the sign, throw away some trash, and I'll be right back. universalasylums.com. Universal Yums. I don't know why I read asylums. Maybe that's the mental state that I'm in. Interesting. So it's funny that we were just talking the other day about Valentine's Day and candy and stuff like that. And you mentioned something about Pocky. And my wife actually went and bought 2 boxes of Pocky for us for Thanksgiving. I thought that was interesting. Okay. So I'm starting to get this now. Why can I not? Edit this? Do I have another thingamabobber open in the editor? So everything else I can select and right click and hit edit. This I cannot. That's why I have to create a new blueprint, and we'll just call this the same thing. We'll call this SteamVR Pawn. We'll call this standing because this is a standing camera. No. And we're gonna put it in. We're gonna put it just straight in content. Okay, there we go. Now we're cooking with fire. Not already open event graph, and drag off the event to show the execution list. Drag off. List, search for set tracking. Okay, origin. Sensitive. Set tracking origin. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. No, you did not miss. Well, you missed me learning the basics of Unreal, like actors and materials and just the real basic stuff. So I'm just now, about 2 hours ago, I opened this tutorial here on how to set up a VR camera. And it turned into, the first step was open up or create a new pawn blueprint. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know how to do that. So I went back and did the beginning tutorials, all this stuff right here. Which led to a few other tutorials, and here we are now. I'm finally in the blueprint editor for the VR camera, setting it up per the Unreal Steam VR recommendations, even though there's already a VR camera pre-built blueprint. So we'll see how this works. Tracking, click. Set tracking origin has 2 node options, floor level and eye level. For a standing experience, you will need to leave the origin of the set tracking. Weird, I could have sworn somebody was behind me. Lower level. Wait, for standing experience, you will need to set the, origin. Okay. I bet for sitting, you leave it at eye level. That makes sense. Let's see, where do you think it's best location to put sub-electrical? What's a sub-electrical box as opposed to an electrical panel? I'm thinking electrical box, I'm thinking your main breaker panel that has all your circuit breakers and fuse boxes and things like that. Let's see. It will not let me zoom any more than that. The best location. This is only one page, right? Yeah, one page. So, can you put it? Can you put it in this closet by chance? I don't think you have the clearance for it, and I'm guessing you can't put it in. You can't pocket it in these concrete. Okay, main is main level. You need a separate, additional one separate from main to the basement. So we're looking at the basement here, and my first preference would be to find a way to put it in here. Now, I don't know how big it is, but it almost seems like you might have some space right here to put it against this wall. Maybe if you can frame out a little bit more. That would be my first choice. You have this closet here for sub-electrical panel, it looks like. If I'm seeing this correctly, which if that's the case, I think that's a perfectly fine spot to put it. I don't know how big this panel is. I'm assuming it's not like a full-size panel, since it's darn. Well, electrician's going to install it before any of the other stuff goes in there, so I don't see why it would be too difficult. I think this is a fine location so long as you're sacrificing like that space. The only thing is you by IRC, if you're using IRC, you will not be able to use this for like a clothes closet, because you can't have clothes or combustible items in the same room, enclosed space as an electrical panel. So this won't be able to be like a coat closet or anything like that. Yeah. All right, drag, and then drag that to the, I already drug that in. Select the pawn blueprint is placed in the level, and in the details panel under pawn settings, set the auto possess player from disabled to player 0. Okay, so I think we want to save this, close it. Let's just save all right now. And I think, oh, that. So we select that, and we want to change under pawn. Here we go. They're installing the sign! I'm gonna go look at it in a second here. I mean, I don't see anything out of place with the electrical room. I mean, you're saying so except for the electrical room. I think this is a fine location. I mean, it's a basement, right? So is this really like a really aesthetically important space? Because I've seen it where they've even put it like just in the kitchen. Maybe an electrician lives here and you just put it on the wall here and you frame around it. Like you get a nice picture frame to put around it. So, I don't know. Is this in a multi-unit house, like a multi-family facility? Yeah, I'm actually about to go take a photo while they're installing it because I am a process fiend. I wonder if it'll actually automatically update when I do this. I'll be right back. So the funny thing is that I was told they were going to be here at 10 o'clock. They showed up at 2. So, yeah. This sign project has just been riddled with problems. I mean, technically they said they were going to show up yesterday. So I feel like that camera is not where I put it. Let's see. Play. VR preview. Okay, maybe it is. So I'm going to try to put it over on one of the corners. Put it right there. Hey, okay, so that does work. Excellent. Even though the player start is like well above us, this does work. I'm just curious. Nope. Okay. I feel like the scale maybe is off. Maybe I just thought that the scale of the braziers was a little bit bigger than they actually are. I don't know. Okay. Yes, this is VR. This is VR that you're seeing. I just put the headset on. Can you not see the camera? Yeah, you can see the camera. All right. So now I want to figure out how to set up motion control. So actually what I want to do now is I don't know what the difference between HMD, locomotion pawn, motion controller pawn. I don't know what all these are. So let's delete this one and let's do HD locomotion. Let's just see. Possess player 0. Let's play that mofo. Nope, nothing. So I feel like teleport pin, arrow ring, virtual reality, mannequin. Materials, meshes. Oh no, I think that's a pretty terrifying concept to me. Just knowing the way that people abuse network things right now, just the idea of what is this? The idea of somebody having their brain connected to the internet is just intranet. Yeah. I'm just gonna look and see real quick. I feel like maybe I missed something. VR. No. All right, so I think the next step that I have here is figuring out how to get when do you think virtual reality's point of view gets wider? When the developer sets the camera to a wider point of view? Oh, I see. Maybe, but the reason would be more because of the setting of the field of view here. So if I made this like 150, say 150 degrees, right? It's a lot wider. So I can now see this whole platform, right? So it's not a limitation of virtual reality, it's a limitation of however the camera is set up. Trying to keep an eye on when the cherry picker goes down. I want to go out and get a picture of the bracket that they install it on. Sounds like that might be happening in just a second. Right, so you want to set it, and you know, point of view varies from average human point of view. Humans have slightly over 210 degree forward-facing horizontal arc. So that means that in order for this to be accurate, I would set this to 210 degrees, which apparently flips it over. 210 doesn't sound right. Did I read that wrong? See, that's the other thing, is it's separate ratios, right? No, it doesn't need a wider screen because the screen is what you can already see. You can already perceive all that. It's literally right here. So it's like standing, you know, this far away from an IMAX screen. You're not going to be able to see the edges. So I don't see that as a problem at all. I am curious to know what this is going to do, though. If I start vomiting, we know why. It looks like it just reverted back to what it originally was. So. Why is this not working? Okay, camera. I'll reset that. Okay. Man, is my internet doing stupid things again? I'm gonna be so pissed off if my internet's being stupid again. Oh no, it was this. Never mind. Okay, so the next thing is I gotta figure out how to move. How do I move? Okay, I get that. That's not what I want. I want using motion controllers. Here we go. Yeah, it's not that I want the ability to pick up objects, it's that I want to be able to teleport. Pick up an object event, drop object event. How about teleport object event? Using splash screens, component setup, attaching virtual reality spectator screen. Really? It's literally everything except how to move. I like how in the Steam VR how-to, well, I guess this is VR Rift. Okay. Setting the color of the chaperone system using touch controllers to pick up objects. I like how there are no intermediate topics. It just, you have beginner and advanced. I think this is what I already did. All right, let's see if maybe the chaperone system has something to do with... Nope, it doesn't. All right, I'm gonna go take another picture. Be right back. All right. So they got the bracket up there. Apparently it's not going to update. There we go. So they're putting this is the bracket right here. You can see it kind of looks like the windows. And there it is, it's on the building now. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna take this and just slip it over this bracket, and that will attach the whole thing to it. And you can see they've got these gussets behind the letters to hold them upright. So that'll look pretty cool. Yeah, I think they're prepping some stuff now, but they're going to go back up there in a minute and hang it. I think they need to strip and size the wire, because they have to, I guess, connect the wire straight into this. And they're going to put a photocell somewhere that determines if it's bright enough, dark enough to turn the light on, because it's going to have constant power going to it. So the photocell will determine, I guess it's on the side right there. I see that in the picture. That's the wrong side. That's the side over there. Did I get a picture of it from this side on the ground? I did not. I'm going to go see if I can get a picture of that photocell. Well, they're both crowded around it, so I can't get a picture of it. I'm sure I'll be able to see it once it's up there. All right, so we're still learning how to move around in VR. Unreal VR teleport. HTC Vive resolution. I don't honestly. I don't know. It's 1080 by 1200. Oh, for the Oculus Rift, the HTC is 2160 by 1200 for both eyes. So not 4K. Let's see, 4K VR HMD. So apparently they have an 8K VR headset, so there you go. Well, apparently it's something that's been kickstarted. Timex has a 4K headset. There you go. Okay. So let's go in here and go to maps and let's open up the HMD motion controller map. Let's save everything and let's see what happens here. I can't teleport. Okay. So apparently that was the wrong map. So let's remember that motion controller is not correct. The HMD locomotion map, I think, is what we want to look for here. So let's play this. Preview. Oh, now that's interesting. Except I still can't teleport anywhere. So I'm guessing you can control where you're going with your head instead of the controllers, which do not show up. Text. Lighting and controller map. What? So the thing that sucks is about the time they finish hanging the sign, it's gonna be time for me to go. So I'm almost wondering if I need to hit play instead of VR preview. It still doesn't seem to do anything. So I still can't. I mean, I feel like what is it? Why can I not do this? Let's do new. Let's do a new project. Let's do virtual reality blueprint. Let's do desktop console. Learning VR. While that's working on that, there we go. Getting that sign put up. That was them coming up across the base here. Up and away. I did not mean to close that. All right, so let's see if playing this one, motion controller. Let's see if playing this one makes a difference. Ooh. Huh. So this is doing that weird thing too, where where the it turns you when you it's a little creepy. I think that would creep people out. In a VR walkthrough. Oh. So that works. I don't know what's different about this VR template versus what I was just in. I don't know. But for some reason still let's see, Unreal VR teleport turns player. Okay, so VR pawn. Alright, so what did it say? Have a look at the update arc ending point function in your BP motion controller. BP motion controller. Interesting. Okay. Can I show in BP cube motion controller blueprint? This guy right here. BP motion controller is not anywhere in Okay, transform, spawn transform. Right, so I'm looking for update arc ending point. Oh, that's in this. Okay. Wow, this is... How do I get... Here's the rotation. Okay. So I feel like I don't even want to have that as an option. But so what it is the thumb pad controls. If you just press the center of it, it goes exactly where you want it to. And if you turn, I'm holding this up here, I don't know if you can see it. If you turn your thumb on the thumb pad, it turns it's a cool system. I mean, I'm okay with the system. I think that's a little much for the novice users. But we have teleportation. So now, next time I jump into this, I can focus on getting house and things like that in here. So I'm not sure why it was broken before. It seems like if everything is set, it should automatically pick that stuff up. So, I don't know. Let's go take some more pictures, but I'm probably done with VR for a little bit. But I'm here until they're done installing the sign. I don't know if that's 10 minutes or 10 hours. But here's to hoping this isn't a 10-hour long stream. Feed is lagging, what? I think you're lying. Okay, so what I learned is that after all that, they don't put these guys actually in the scene. They spawn them using scripting from the camera. So as long as I bring this camera and everything that's in the graph along with it into my project, we should be good. So what I want to do real quick is open the other one that I was using and see if maybe some of that stuff just isn't loaded in those assets. Although I loaded the whole asset package in, I don't know why it wouldn't be. And while that's going, might as well show, I took a couple more pictures here. Here we go. That's our space here. Now I can give the landlord crap about having ugly signs up next to us. And I'll be the better person and not be as relentless as he was about us not having a sign. But I think that looks pretty good. The really cool thing about this sign that I really like is that depending on what angle you're at during the day, so you can see that delineations is light. Or during the day, the lettering up here is light, it's bright, it's brushed aluminum, so it reflects the light. And Designs and Repro Graphics is dark at daytime, and at night, delineations becomes dark, and Design and Repro Graphics is the bright one. So it kind of flips between day and night, which was the original design intent. I'm pretty stoked about that. I didn't expect it to be quite as I thought it was going to be a much more subtle effect, but it is very much less subtle than I thought it was going to be. I'm really happy with this. I can now add sign design to my portfolio, my repertoire of content, tutorial level. So here's what I want to do. I want to bring in content blueprints. You know, I bet that's what it is. I'm willing to bet that that camera does not have, let's do motion controller map, and it doesn't have any of the scripting to it. Okay, spawn the controllers, EP motion controller. So let's come back here, look at content virtual reality, nope, content EP blueprints, motion controller. It definitely has all the stuff in it. Motion controller pawn. So it should have everything. What I'm not sure about is why camera rendering input actor persistent level. Okay, I hit play here. I bet it's not going to work. Let's just see. Yeah, it doesn't even spawn. It never spawns the controllers. So why does it not spawn the controllers? Oh, I wonder if I can just uncheck that. So why does it not work? Ideal right here. Is it because the way that I started this project maybe? Open project. Learning VR. Okay, so let's go to that map. Come into here. Let's select this guy right here, and I just want to edit that, and I want to see if maybe I can uncheck this. Let's play this. Play. Oh no, it doesn't. It's not spawning again. Why you no spawn? Is it this one? Nope. So we got it to work one time. Oh, they're coming down. Let's go take a look. I'll be right back. I wish there was a way for me to stream from my phone to the stream, but there's not. Be right back. So wouldn't you know it, it looks right now like the power supply isn't working. So they've got it hung, and it looks like our power to the box is not working, so. Oh boy. Be right back. Alrighty. So I hate coming straight back from a quick break. The end of the stream, but I gotta go. It took 30 minutes longer than it was supposed to, so I hate doing that, but I gotta do it. So sign is installed, lights came on, all that fun stuff. Now we just have to wait until nighttime to see if the awning lights, which are right under it, are going to cause it to stay turned off. So I'll take some pictures of it then, but until then, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you watching, and next time we'll put some houses in VR and see if we can start walking through those. Till then, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later.
Kidding. Little punk tries to throw me off a train. We get into a fight and he falls off. Cops ask me why I did a thing like that. I tell them why. For 3 hours, I tell them why. They don't believe me.